Syracuse Orangemen are your national championship winners. And what a wild ride it was. A 12-0 season, make that 14-0. They have not lost since week 3 of last year in Leonard Robinson's freshman year. And throughout the process, they established the best offense of all time. In 2026, 10 years after Syracuse would win their first national championship under head coach Jack Doff, the team has only gotten better. Syracuse has won 180 straight games over the past 12 seasons and really have not shown any signs of stopping since key players like Leonard Robinson, Hank Ball, and Sanchez Sanders came in and left their everlasting mark on the program. Syracuse is the best dynasty in college football history to this point, but unfortunately this is the dynasty that never should have been. You see, the primary reason for Syracuse's success is their touted recruiting staff that has built pipelines everywhere they wanted to in the nation, even in states such as California and Texas, where the top prospects reside. Syracuse realized that if they wanted to win championships, they had to beat out other top programs for these kids, and that is exactly what they did, although I am disappointed to say we have come to find out that they was not in compliance with the NCAA's recruiting guidelines. I mean, it makes sense. How does Syracuse manage to reel in the top class year after year, recruiting and winning battles primarily in the western regions of the United States? How do they continuously neglect their home state? How do they not lose any commitments year in and year out? This brings us to how 12 years of lies have finally been exposed onto Syracuse, and give credit to Joel Horner. Horner is a redshirt senior quarterback with 2 years of starting experience, winning, of course, 2 national championships, and, of course, walking the red carpet as Syracuse's starter. Last season, Horner intended to declare for the NFL draft in a weak quarterback class and was a projected mid-first round selection. Coach Doff, however, as he has done many times before, encouraged Horner to stay in school and elevate his draft stock further with another national title. Horner was having a Heisman-level season, but 6 weeks in with a game versus Clemson, he suffered a sprained MCL, causing his performance to drastically drop off the remainder of the year, as he is, of course, a mobile quarterback like Leonard Robinson was. And while he was projected a first-round pick in the draft, he fell all the way to the 65th selection, the first pick in the 3rd round, losing a significant amount of money compared to if he was declared the previous year. Joel Horner would then become infuriated and single-handedly break news that sent Syracuse into an inevitable collapse. The son of 5, Horner grew up in a state of Texas where his father worked as a physics professor at the University of Texas, who offered him as an 8th grader and pushed hard for his commitment long before he became a 5-star prospect. Regardless, Horner decided to wait out his commitment until after winning his 3rd straight high school state championship and had offers pretty much everywhere in the nation. However, analysts had thrown out Texas crystal balls long ago. It was a lock. Syracuse hadn't even offered Horner until late November and apparently had no leverage in the race and never even hosted Horner on an official visit, simply a harmless in-home visit a week before signing day in February. However, Horner committed to Syracuse anyways, and no one even seemed to assume the worst, regardless of it being one of the biggest surprises of the year. The entire nation overlooked it because it was Syracuse. It's only a matter of when you get offered is when you commit, because everybody in this country wants to go there, right? Even when every crystal ball showed Texas, they overlooked it. They offered early, had coach stability, and his dad worked there, yet they were never considered the worst on the situation. They never realized that they had a private fund created by Syracuse football alumni and NFL players, distributed directly by the Syracuse staff. Horner was offered $50,000 to ride the bench at Syracuse until it was his time. One player gets frustrated at his draft stock, gets drafted late, and admits to accepting payment, yet with so many Syracuse players in the NFL, there is no way that he was the only one. Jack Doff built the program from the ground up, but all he accomplished was destroying college football for over a decade, rigging the deck in order to win and keeping it a secret for 11 straight BCS championship wins. Because of this success, the college football world was in outrage. So it was time for the NCAA to provide proper punishment, or the death penalty, if you will. Every player on the team would have 2 options. If eligible, they could declare for the draft, or they could transfer to any school in the country that would accept them and sit out a year. Not knowing who else accepted payment, there was no rational way to end their football careers. In addition to this, Syracuse would not have a 2026 recruiting class, and everyone already committed, which was a solid 22 players, would have to flip to their second choice school, but they could not attend the University of Syracuse, nor should they want to in the midst of all this controversy. After the season, Syracuse would have 10 scholarships to spend, then 15, then 20 until the 5th year following. Strangely enough, though, the NCAA allowed Coach Goff to seek a new job where he wished, but he would not be given any privacy by the NCAA and require NCAA officials to ensure that he was doing his job in compliance to the rules at all times. So Jack Goff decided to sign as the head coach at a fellow ACC competitor, the University of Clemson, taking his entire staff with him. Syracuse's AD had to make a quick decision because as of now, the best football program in history has been stripped clean of everything they had just a few days ago. 0 coaches, 0 players, 0 fans. Their job would be in jeopardy if they signed the wrong man for the job, so they called up Leonard Robinson, a former top draft pick and Syracuse alumni whose apparent Hall of Fame career was cut short by a blown-out knee. Leonard Robinson would be given a team of walk-ons to work with and will experience extreme scholarship limitations and lack of interest from players all around the nation. His job will be to bring in unproven, low-caliber players to Syracuse in the second toughest conference in college football, let alone the SEC, and find a way to win and bring football back to Syracuse. Now, you're probably wondering why I would create such a brutal scenario for myself by creating the most ridiculous cheating scandal possible as a return to YouTube. I don't hate myself. In fact, I'm very happy where I'm at right now, and that's why I'm coming back. I have been watching Moonlight Swami's content after I saw him quit, and watching his late Wes Morgan reboot gave me a drive to finish what he started with a team of walk-ons and bad recruits. I will not be going after anything over a 2-star until we start winning games, and I will also not be spending any coaching upgrades aside from the 3 scouting ones until we start winning games, which I do not believe will be for a few years. Due to this, the first couple seasons will be recapped in just a few videos because I honestly do not want the burden of getting blown out by 70 points each week, and that just doesn't sound like very entertaining content for you guys. I've been planning this series for about a month now, and I believe that I can make this very entertaining for everyone, myself included. There will be a season preview video, a recruiting special, an off-season recap, and of course, more than 2 videos per year of games after we start assembling a team. Because honestly, right now, this roster has nothing worth seeing, as you probably can tell. You don't need to see it more than 1 game per year, honestly, at this point, unless you want to see a really, really lopsided season full of losses. Anyways, to wrap it up, thank you all so much for your support. I love all of you and have missed you very, very much. I have really missed creating content for all of you every single day and believe that this will be a very, very fun task for me as I prepare for college at Washington State University. That being said, I am Jack, and for the first time in a while, I can say that I am signing out. See you next time.